Hey everyone, welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm Will.
I'm Brian.
This is the podcast where we talk about everything Dungeons and Dragons, from crawling claws to cold captivators, and today we're covering the Carrion Crawler. The Dungeoncast. Hey Brian.
Hey.
Happy Valentine's Day, Brian.
It's not.
It's not.
It's super
today.
not.
It's 2 days after. 2 days after.
And we recorded Suni. That dropped like the week before, and then we said Happy Valentine's Day in that one.
Yeah, we did.
And then the one that was on Valentine's Day, it's technically not scheduled till the day after. We didn't say shit about it, so it's kind of weird that it's coming up again. But in the reality of scheduling, it's actually not the normal day we record.
That's true. We're doing a Tuesday. That's
so
weird.
Normally we would have had to record on Valentine's Day, but we got nasty instead.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. We did have stuff to do.
We're not good at keeping order of the chronology here, guys. It's not a chron pod. All right.
Welcome to the Dungeoncast.
Welcome to the Dungeoncast.
This is actually a podcast about D&D lore.
Indeed it is.
Normally we don't start with a warm opener. We just do a cold opener, but here it goes.
So let's talk about one of D&D's stinkiest, ugliest, and meanest monsters, the Carrion Crawler.
Hell yeah.
This burrowing aberration of mysterious origins, as its namesake implies, scavenges the dead in voracious quantities. But large, powerful, and ever hungry, this monstrosity has no qualms at attacking living prey either. Wriggling like giant loathsome caterpillars, these aggressive beasts attack anything that invades their territory or disturbs their feasting on the dead. The crawlers paralyze victims with their tentacles before dragging their prey off to expire and rot. As horrific as they are, carrion crawlers are not technically evil creatures. They are merely driven by hunger, which is pretty much a constant sensation that they feel. So, unaligned or not, these things want to attack and eat you at any given moment. So make of that what you will.
Okay. Well,
it may not be evil, but it kind of amounts to the same thing.
Their intentions for you would result
are
in
very
similar.
bad.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Well, is this thing not trying to like torture you? It's trying to just eat you.
Yeah, it just wants to. It wants to eat you, but it wants to kill you and then let you rot first and then eat you.
Yeah.
They like to eat the rotty, nasty bits. They like you to get all nasty, soft and mushy.
The potential here is to be stabbed and left to die.
Yeah, or like I guess stabbed by their teeth.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. So
paralyzed by tentacles, stabbed by teeth. Dragged off to rot.
So it doesn't matter that they're neutral whether you live or die or are in pain.
Yeah, they don't care. They're
as
not
long
like
as you're gonna
torturing,
be immobile and die. They're good.
They're not neither happy nor sad about your suffering.
It's not really about you. It's about the bacteria.
Exactly.
The bacteria that grows on you.
Indeed.
After you die.
Is. Yes. The crawler essentially looks like a cross between a giant pale yellow and green cutworm, which are those odd caterpillar grub things that you find under rocks or in the dirt. They tend to curl up. You ever seen those things?
Looking up cutworm.
Yeah. I used to do a lot of exploring in like the hills around my house and looking under rocks and stuff. And yeah, they're these weird grubby looking things.
I'm seeing them. They look like a little poop.
So yeah.
Yeah, your special guest Jake and I used to go looking for like lizards and stuff as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember these bad boys.
It's
not like a pill bug.
Yeah, I used to do them a lot growing up here in Southern California. But it's like a cross between those and a centipede.
Nice. That's scary.
The rancid stink of rotten meat surrounds and precedes the arrival of this enormous multi-legged creature with a segmented 10-foot-long body. 8 writhing tentacles protrude from its head, growing directly from below its clacking mandibles and tooth-filled maw. The monster's head is covered with a tough hide. Each of a carrion crawler's tentacles is about 2 feet long and secretes a sticky, paralyzing substance. Some versions of carrion crawlers also have 2 long eye stalks, though they can perceive their surrounding even in the darkest of caverns. Most, though, are depicted with enormous insectile compound eyes, just as effective as seeing in the darkest of the eye stalks. Basically, it's addition to addition. They've kind of been drawn a little different.
Yeah. Additionally,
carrion crawlers have a highly developed sense of smell, which is probably necessary to detect prey through their own putrid stink.
Here we go again with the stink.
Things smell.
So is this an Underdark creature?
It is.
Yeah.
Well, not always. It can be though. It's one of the natives.
Okay, yeah. You said a couple of key things, which mean like it sees normal on
in the dark.
Yeah.
And it sees
it's D&D version.
It sees D&D normal, and it smells really bad.
If you're new to the show, just know that dark vision is normal vision in this game.
Indeed. And finally, a carrion crawler weighs on average about 500 pounds.
Yikes, man.
So they're big,
well, yeah,
beefy
10
beasts.
feet long, 500-pound cross between like a
grubworm or cutworm and a centipede.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So foul things feed on filth, and so it is that carrion crawlers squirm through all manner of death, rot, and offal. These bizarre creatures lurk in moist and dark places, seeking to scour putrid flesh from carcasses and gobble the slimy bones that remain.
Ah, man, that's one for the ASMR books right there.
It really is. Like vultures, carrion crawlers follow the scent of death to their food. However, if they must travel great distances, it's likely that their intended meal will have been claimed by other scavengers by the time they arrive. Thus, carrion crawlers hunker down in territories where food is plentiful, and other carrion eaters have limited mobility. Caves, sewers, dungeons, and heavily forested marshes work best, but carrion crawlers are also drawn to battlefields and cemeteries. And I like that because it reminds me of in The Witcher 3, near the opening of The Witcher 3, you're in an area that's been like riddled by war, and there's just bodies everywhere.
Sure.
And there are places where in Witcher ghouls, in D&D too, ghouls feed on carcasses. Mm-hmm. And so ghoul nests start popping up in these battlefields. And it's kind of wild because you're going this way and there's like a battle going on over there. And then you go down over this way and there's like a dude running for his life from ghouls. And I could see that with carrion crawlers.
Like, oh my gosh.
Like if a battlefield has been fought upon for long enough, it might attract carrion crawlers.
Yeah, like a civil war, they were like burying bodies in, mass graves and stuff right there.
Right,
Carrion crawler are going to show up and feast.
Exactly.
Ooh, nasty. That's nasty.
It is nasty. They are nasty. Carrion crawlers mostly eat rotting flesh, but they don't always wait for a creature to die on its own, and they will aggressively attack any creature that trespasses on their territory or disturbs their feasting. Woe to the city that has these monsters in its sewer in a time of siege or plague. In such places, a carrion crawler roams on the hunt and tentacles feeling the air for the smell of blood or decay.
That's like London. You get bubonic plague.
Oh yeah, back like, in the Dark Ages,
they would have carrion crawlers in there.
Yeah,
like,
I
in
could
their
see
sewers
that.
And stuff,
yeah.
or in their streets.
Although yes and no. I don't think London had sewers in the Dark Ages. I think all that shit flowed in the streets.
Yes, it did. There was like rotting meat out and stuff.
So the carrion crawlers would definitely drawn to a city set up in that such a way.
That would suck to just see one of these out in broad daylight.
Just go, everyone run, the carrion crawlers.
Well, it would wait till nighttime, right? Like
probably. It would probably be sleeping
a nocturnal feel.
I think so.
Like in the Underdark, it doesn't matter. All time is meaningless.
You would have to have like...
Is all time meaningless in the Underdark? Like... There's no sunrise or sunset. Where do they go by time?
I think different species have just different ways of keeping track of it. I know the stone giants have like...
They've got that spiral thing, right? Well, they're like writing like history on their walls.
They have that, but when it comes to like the day-to-day, like I think it's pretty freeform and like basically whoever the master craftsmen are, they get to decide what their 12 hours of being awake looks like, and whoever follows them has to adjust to their time. But everyone's kind of working on different times because it doesn't really matter. There's no sky indicator.
Every time this our lead Micah did the third fart, that's an hour.
Yeah, exactly. So, despite their great size and poor instinct for stealth, carrion crawlers can ambush victims by waiting around blind corners for prey to come to them. Since crawlers tend to live in subterranean darkness or hunt at night on the surface, there it is, light signals a potential meal, and a carrion crawler might follow a light source from a distance for hours, hoping to pick up the scent of blood.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so you could be just like doing your thing through a dungeon, and then it sees something and it's been hunting you guys for hours.
Oh no, man! Crazy. I'm thinking like a merchant on a night trek. They got a torch on their cart. It's like, god.
This is why they tell you not to go through the bog at night.
Don't go through anywhere at night, and don't have any babies on you because you'll get hacked up. All kinds of stuff will happen.
Within structures, the repulsive creatures often scurry across the ceiling as they move toward food. In this way, they avoid contact with other dangerous inhabitants of the darkness, such as oozes and otyugs, and they can surprise trespassers who don't think they'll look up. Can you imagine when one of these 500-pound things dropping on you? You're fucked.
Yeah. Okay. So is that like reverse fall damage, or are you just gonna roll like bludgeoning damage? Like this 500-pound thing fell this many feet onto you?
I think I would reverse fall damage it. Just for every 10 feet it fell, that's an extra D6.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There's probably like a terminal velocity it reaches at some point, but it's not going to fall more than like...
And if it did, it would splat. It would die, but it would definitely kill whoever it landed on.
Is this, if you're role-playing this monster, is this a tactic you would use, is fall from the ceiling? Because
definitely.
Your monster going to take damage?
It depends. Like, I think... If
you fall on enough guys, it's like a cushion. It's like falling on a man's sofa.
Sure. I'm thinking 30 feet or higher, I'll do a little bit of fall damage.
Okay.
But like 20 feet, it's a 10-foot tall thing.
Because this is baked into the lore.
It's baked into the lore.
Like
it attacks from the sky.
A strategic thing it does. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So when facing potential prey or intruders, a carrion crawler prefers to let its poison do the work. The beast strikes as many enemies as it can with its tentacles and saves its bite for poison foes who get too close for comfort. Once a victim becomes rigid with paralysis, the Carrion Crawler wraps it in tentacles and drags it away to a secure eating area, such as a high ledge or a hole in the wall. The crawler, you know those hole in the wall restaurants are the best. They're the absolute best. No. The crawler then looms over its meal and watches for signs of life, striking with a tentacle if it sees any.
Okay.
No, you die. When the crawler believes the prey to be dead, it coats the victim's flesh with toxic saliva to disguise the stench as the corpse decays. And then it resumes patrolling its territory while waiting for the meal to ripen.
I'm glad I waited to ask because I was going to say, like, so these things probably have a storeroom.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Underdark. They've got a storeroom in the Underdark where they drag their prey to.
Yeah, it's probably got a sleepy hole, like a place where
it probably up high, hard to get to. They got to drag it up there.
Yeah,
I was thinking like it's to keep the smell contained, but they're also doing this other thing.
Right, exactly. Cool. Because like as dangerous and nasty as Carrion Crawlers are, they tend to live in places where there's equally, if not more so, terrifying, smelly, mean things.
Exactly,
so, like, they're not top of the food chain where they tend to be. They're somewhere in the middle.
Purple dragon up there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's that. But there's all kinds of shit. There's drow, there's mind flayers, there's all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of purple stuff.
Beholders.
Purple worm.
Yeah, purple worm. Yeah, there we go.
Purple mushrooms. Oh, they're pretty low.
So perhaps more so than in any other form of environment, Carrion Crawlers are much feared denizens of the underground world and the Underdark. Here they dwell in nests and lairs, venturing out in search of carrion or food every few days. Some underground inhabitants, such as kobolds and trolls, will make use of Carrion Crawlers by leaving the bodies of dead foes out in designated areas. This keeps the creatures at a good distance from their homes and encourages them to patrol certain areas.
Okay.
Some orcs have been known to chain live prisoners near the lairs of these fearsome monsters.
That sucks.
It's a hell of an execution. Using the crawlers in this way is not so much as a domestication as a symbiotic relationship of guard and executioner.
They won't eat us if you have something to eat.
Exactly, because they're full, they're happy.
Yeah.
But despite their wild and territorial nature, Carrion Crawlers can, with difficulty, be manipulated or brought to heel and truly domesticated. Goblins and similar creatures attempt to raise Carrion Crawlers from birth and coach them for battle. The venom of a young crawler is too weak to paralyze prey, so they can be domesticated after a fashion and used as guard beasts. Some creatures even train Carrion Crawlers as mounts, although riders must employ tentacle harnesses to keep from being paralyzed themselves. And it is not uncommon for illithids to actively raise crawlers for various purposes.
So they're grabbing the tentacle. They're using the tentacles as like reins. So basically like cover over it.
I guess
part of their like saddle setup.
I guess so. But you're also like what's the word? It's like you're what am I trying to say here? Like they're dulling their own weapon here. Because if they're riding in this in battle, well, those paralysis tentacles are great to paralyze your enemies, but I guess you don't want them hitting you. But if you're mitigating them, well, then it's only got its teeth.
You got to be really fast. You got to have really high dex, really have fast hands, really special gloves.
Yeah.
Because you're going to let one go and grab another one so it can whip. You feel the pull. It's time to let go.
Just thought of something really gross. Like the tentacles are constantly secreting, right? So what if they have sacs at the end of these covers?
If you say they are, sure.
Well, they are.
Okay.
And so like what if they have sacs at the end of these tentacle harnesses that like gather it up, and then at some point they could pull something that squirts out all over their enemies. Hell yeah. Let's take a short rest.
Hey everybody, be sure to check out
Super Quest Saga, a future fantasy 5th edition D&D actual play podcast homebrewed and dungeon mastered by yours truly, me, and set in space.
And I play in it, along with your special guest Jake and friend of the show, Josh Freeland.
You can find it on YouTube, iTunes, or anywhere else you can get your podcasts.
Super Quest Saga!
We've returned.
Indeed we have.
We're fucking back at it again. God damn it, DeGonzo.
We never stopped.
We did stop.
Well, I guess we kind of stopped. Yeah, that's true.
Go watch Super Quest Saga,
and
please.
We're back. Yeah, please. It's a good show, I think.
Sorry if you don't like
the ads.
I'm a
little biased.
Sorry if you don't like the ads on this show. You can skip them.
Yeah, that's all we can. That's all we can say. Carrion Crawlers. Oh god, my phone. Carrion Crawlers will sometimes live with a mate or in a small group numbering no more than 6. This does not mean that this person should stop texting me. This does not mean that they cooperate in hunting, though. They merely share the same space and compete fiercely for the same food. If two crawlers have made a kill or discover a carrion...
Well, turn your phone off.
I will as soon as we're done recording. They will often fight over the food, sometimes killing one another in the process. So not the most amicable of roommates. Why they even, like, get together at all is a fucking mystery. I guess to me. But, like, why would you get into a group of 6 if you're just going to fight over everything?
Yeah, like, that's not... okay, two crawlers rolling out. Are you expecting more difficult or more plentiful opponents? Like...
I would... Okay, let me take back what I just said. I could see why they would hole up in the same territory. If a territory is so bountiful... If the battle has been going on for 20 years, and it just never stopped, like, you're just going to have a plethora of these guys, and they're going to have to interact with each other. Some will mate, and some will kill each other. Yeah,
and then you don't need if the battle's going on for that long, you're probably not worried about gathering the bodies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, things have broken down to such a point that you have a crawler infestation.
Right.
So, like, there's no one here to really care.
So eventually, the fighting stops, and the crawlers turn on themselves, each other, dissipate?
I would suppose so. Like,
go away?
They would have to. Once the food becomes more scarce, they start fighting over the food, and eventually start killing each other over food, and eventually the food's gone.
Yeah, so it probably devolves into them killing each other, and then to them dispersing to find new bounty.
Yes. Carrion crawlers are non-intelligent with an intelligence score of a whopping 1.
Oh, which, God.
As I've said before, is only 1 smarter than a rock.
Yeah. So it's really base. It's just smell.
It's just a giant bug. It's a giant bug monster. It eats... It shits. It sleeps.
I know it
does nothing else.
It's acting like a
vacuum cleaner.
A snail or a fly or
exactly.
Bacteria. It just eats bacteria eating bacteria.
Yeah, sure, exactly.
It's just a very big bacteria.
Like, in a way, carrion crawlers serve a purpose in that they probably prevent plague more than they cause it.
Yes,
right.
But they also cause you to get chewed on.
Yes, they can cause death, but not a pandemic.
So would we rather have? Okay, well, the answer's clear there, right? Like, we'd rather have the carrion crawler rather than, like, a rampant plague.
Definitely. Okay. I would even go as far to say I would not be surprised if some cities would integrate carrion crawlers into their sewer system. Like, you're gonna lay some eggs down there.
Our sewer system, it keeps shitting, guys, because if you don't, the carrion crawlers will come looking for you.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have to worry about that because cities are disgusting. You know, when you get people together, they cause a lot of trash.
Dennis, how many times I'm going to have to write you up for shitting in the street, bro? You'll be the end of us.
But yeah, so, I mean, you could definitely integrate them. Anyways, clever travelers have been known to fool an approaching carrion crawler with a sight or smell illusion, thus gaining time and make good on their escapes. They're easy to trick. They only got 1 intelligence.
Goddamn, I never even thought... We did the illusion episode. Mm-hmm. Like, we built those characters. I never thought to make a smell illusion.
That's true. Everyone thinks visual, right? Or sound.
Because illusion is... You immediately think of your eyes.
Yeah,
like,
you do.
Being tricked visually. But yeah.
Smell,
and
for
sound,
sure.
too. I mean, because the descriptions say to, like, do motion and make sounds more higher level stuff, but it never even passed my mind to make it smell like shit.
I don't tend to play illusionists all that often, so I'm not as experienced in, like, causing illusionary bullshit as you would think.
I don't think it's a super popular class because there were not a lot. Usually we'll get some conversation about what goes on with illusions and, like, what's possible. And even when I go do internet searches for illusion stuff, it's just kind of like, do whatever you want, dog. It's illusions.
Which is fair
You're
enough.
Totally right.
So back to carrion crawlers. Most editions suggest that a wizard's mad experiment gave birth to the first carrion crawlers. This is a common explanation for many monstrosities, including owlbears, chimeras, etc. But 4E gives a different explanation, of course. In 4E, it is said that a wizard did introduce the revolting beasts to the world, but they were not created in a laboratory. A spellcaster whose name is lost to history opened a connection to the Far Realm in hope of learning that plane's secrets. Her irresponsible act resulted in the slaughter of everyone in her city.
Damn.
Carrion crawlers were not the worst horrors to cross the bridge between dimensions that day. They only came to devour those that other fell beings had already slain or driven mad. Since that ancient time, carrion crawlers have spread throughout the world, and they continue to cross over from the Far Realm whenever fools gain the power to breach that disturbing plane.
So these are the bacteria of
the Far Realm. Yeah, if you want to go with that. And I almost always prefer that to, like, a wizard made it on accident one time, you know?
Oh no, I had a centipede and I had a cutworm and I cast enlarge and something went wrong. I broke a fucking...
That is kind of fun.
I Powerpuff Girls style dropped some chemical X on that shit.
That is kind of fun.
Can you imagine? This is your lore. Like, your party is there for the birth of the Carrion Crawler, and then it just starts multiplying for some reason and burrowing. It's like, no,
this is all my fault.
I think I can ride that shit. Let me grab these tentacles.
Oh no, the harnesses! It's everywhere.
How are there already goblins on these?
Though monstrous, violent, and horrifying to behold, and definitely unnatural abominations, either created via diabolical experimentation or pulled forth from a dimension of madness, Carrion Crawlers do seem to fit into the natural order of the food chain quite well. The Carrion Crawler provides the same useful, if disagreeable, functions that jackals, vultures, and crows perform. Like so many other predators, Carrion Crawlers instinctively prey on the weak, sick, and foolish. In the long run, this has a beneficial effect on their prey on a species-wide level, strengthening its gene pool. The Carrion Crawler also works wonders in overcrowded caverns, quickly eliminating population problems among the weaker monsters. Thus, the life cycle of the crawler is inextricably linked to that of its prey. When the prey flourishes, so does the crawler.
That's insightful. This is what I felt like. Things are bigger in D&D.
Yeah, so things are bigger.
You need bigger animals to do this job.
Right.
Sometimes, exactly. I guess. Exactly. And they're really not the reason that shit smells bad. Shit just smells bad, and they are interested in that.
Yeah, they're interested in
They're actually making stuff not smell bad.
Exactly. Except for themselves. They do smell bad.
Oh, that's right.
But they are actively making the world smell better.
Sure. So would we rather have the smell from all the stuff the Carrion Crawler would eat or the smell of the Carrion Crawler?
The crawler, because that's located in one thing that moves away from you, probably.
I'm starting to fucking love these things.
Oh, they're great. I love Carrion Crawlers. They're like oozes, which I also love for some reason.
Okay, I was going to say, it's like ooze Roomba.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what these are. These are
just worse.
They're worse looking Roombas.
Uglier. Well, I saw a picture for a second.
This is the non-leading brand Roomba.
This is the off-brand Roomba.
This is the off-brand Roomba.
They actually made this one first.
It's true.
It's like, we can do better.
Okay, so the Carrion Crawler mates only once a year. Several days after mating, the female will go off in search of a large kill. When she has found or killed an adequate food supply, she lays about 100 eggs amongst the carrion. The grubs hatch 1 week later and begin feeding. Maternal care ceases once the eggs have been laid, and it's not uncommon for eggs to later be eaten by the female who laid them.
Bummer.
Females die a few weeks after laying their eggs, though, exhausted by the effort. Males live only a short time longer, having mated with as many females as possible, and likely also exhausted by the effort. The life of their offspring is often a trial of violence and death, as grubs tend to consume one another in feeding frenzies, and are a favorite food of adult carrion crawlers, of course.
Man.
Few of the grubs reach maturity, but those that do have eaten voraciously and will achieve their full size inside a year. When they reach maturity, the mating cycle begins again. These monsters exist on the most basic instinctual level, having no more intelligence than earthworms or most insects. The Carrion Crawler is driven by only two urges, food and reproduction. It has absolutely no interest in anything else.
Yeah, and that totally tracks. That's like this thing's whole bit. I just eat garbage.
I eat garbage.
You're
welcome.
I walk around, and once a year I gotta fuck. Otherwise,
and then I die.
And then I die, and then my children or my cousins or whatever,
they grow up and do the same thing.
They come and eat me.
Yeah, exactly that.
There's nothing tastier than a Carrion Crawler that has also been decaying.
Carrion Crawlers don't waste anything.
They don't waste anything. They let bacteria grow and flourish, and then they suck all of that stuff out.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the paralytic slime that coats their tentacles is a valuable alchemical substance known as Carrion Crawler brain juice.
What? That's like a branded name of this?
It is. It's a thing.
It's in all caps.
It's in all caps. Yes, it's a thing. I actually used this item back and forth edition quite a few times.
It's like
I coated my swords with it. It was great.
Oh man, you can do that?
Yes. It is called this as it is produced in the creature's brain and can be extracted from the creature in large quantities from that organ. This juice can be used, obviously, as a poison to paralyze victims via weapon or glove coating, or it can be used counterintuitively as an antiparalytic via alchemy.
This is wild. I didn't know that the last paragraph of these notes were going to be the wildest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah.
This changes everything.
I think the next time I end up playing a ranger, I really want to lean into like the monster hunter kind of like
that
killing
Helsing,
stuff
like,
and like
trophies.
Take trophies is cool, but more along like
but science trophies that you turn into applicable things.
Exactly. Yes, that, you know. And I would like to like make all my gear out of my kills and all that other stuff. That fun.
Is interesting to be like a monster hunter that like
an
really relies on this stuff, like
right,
or not even relies. Like I killed the first one. Let's use the parts from that to help me kill whatever else I need.
Exactly.
This is used for this, or this is a general purpose, like blah blah blah.
Right. Exactly.
That's really cool. Exactly. That's some Breath of the Wild shit where you're cooking monster parts and stuff to make elixirs. Like,
yes,
I like
exactly.
that. I like that.
I like that too. And I'm out of notes, so it's time to talk about its stat block.
I got some official Wizards of the Coast content.
Indeed.
right here.
You bookmarked it and everything.
I bookmarked it, and now I'm going to put this little thing down where the notes are on. I'm going to read you guys the stat block for the Carrion Crawler.
Let's go over it.
Man, this is a wild looking. I mean, it looks like
you're looking at
it
the
looks
picture.
like you zoomed in on a bug, pretty much.
Right.
But like that's typically freaks me the fuck out.
Sure, as it should.
Here we are. Large monstrosity, unaligned. It has an armor class of 13 natural, hit points of 51 or 60, 10 plus 18, a speed of 30 feet, and a climbing speed of 30 feet, which is in line with all the things you said. We got a strength of, and did we decide to do the plus? Not the big number, the small number, right? On these,
I like big numbers, but you do whatever you want, man.
Okay, and then it was big numbers. Strength 14, Dex 13, Con 16, Intelligence 1, Wisdom. I'm just not used to seeing -5 on anything.
I know.
-5? Wisdom Wisdom is 12. And Charisma is only a 5.
It's 5 times more charismatic than.
It's not only stupid; it's weak-willed.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
because it's just an instinct monster.
Right. It's
Yeah.
at its own mercy to
Exactly.
go find.
Yeah, it has no free
nasty
will.
stuff.
It has no free will. It just eats, sleeps, shits.
I mean, it has some. It needs enough free will to fuck once per year.
That's not free will. That's instinct, my friend.
Well, they got to pick somebody, right?
Instinct, my friend.
There's very little here. We can agree on that.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll go with mine.
All right.
Doesn't take a lot.
I don't even think people have free will, so there's that.
Whoa! Just dropping philosophical bombs.
I mean,
I've
thought about it pretty extensively. We're not going to talk about it here, though.
We were talking about it. Skills is a perception +3. It's got 60 feet of dark vision, aka normal vision, and a passive perception of 13.
60 feet's impressive, though.
It is, but I feel like with the description we got, I mean, yes, 60 feet is a lot, so I guess that does track. It doesn't know any languages. Its only language is love once per year. Its challenge rating is 2. Cool. I was kind of expecting.
It's challenge rating 2?
Yeah, higher challenge rating, but 2
yeah.
is pretty good. And
2
the
is pretty
unique
good.
stuff you can kind of do so far without even reading its
Dude,
like,
at level 1,
abilities.
this thing's a full-on boss. Like, this thing is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
horrifying
like,
to behold.
if you can just like one shot 2 dudes that you just fall on 10 feet long, like you could probably get 2 guys under there.
And if these things are attacking in pairs, that's a nice like tough fight for like level 2, 3, 4 people. So
They got to have enough free will to look at each other from the ceiling, give each other a wink, and then fucking like base jump at the same
of course,
time.
absolutely.
Or like-
Although I don't know if you can wink with compound eyes.
No,
There's
yeah, they
eyelid,
are. Huh?
yeah.
I was looking at it's got a really long oblong kind of like jelly bean shape eye.
Yeah.
But there's not going to be
There's no wink.
an eyelid on that.
No.
I don't see any eyelashes.
No, absolutely
I
not.
like our good beholder.
So what are abilities? What has it got?
Keen smell. The Carrion Crawler has advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely only on smell. The spider climb, so the Carrion Crawler can climb difficult surfaces, including upside down on ceilings without needing to make an ability check.
Badass.
It's kind of strange. This body looks really long in the art and little tiny legs, but there's a lot of them.
You know, there's been multiple art. I've seen the art with actual like centipede style legs. So
Yeah.
there's all kinds of Carrion Crawler art. And you know what? That kind of tracks because like there's not just one kind of beetle. There's countless types of beetles. So maybe
You know
that
what?
tracks for
I
Carrion
bet
Crawlers.
they're acting as like hooks. They hook in, and then the body like compresses. You know what I mean? And then what's the opposite of compression? Expands.
Yeah.
And then rehooks. So there's always its
It's
legs aren't
always
scuttering.
attached,
It's
yeah.
just that makes total sense.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
So multi-attack. The Carrion Crawler makes 2 attacks, one with its tentacles and one with its bite. The tentacles melee weapon attack +8 to hit, reach of 10 feet on one creature. It's going to hit for 4 or 1d4 + 2 poison damage, and the target must succeed on a DC 13 Constitution saving throw or be poisoned for 1 minute. Until this poison ends, the target is paralyzed. The target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the poison on itself on a success. You purge that shit immediately. So the bite is going to be a melee weapon attack with +4 to hit, reach of 5 feet, one target, with a hits for 7 or 2d4 + 2 piercing damage. So you were saying that it's going to opt for the tentacles until it needs to bite.
Yes.
So that's the way you role play this fight. Is
That's how I
basically
would do it.
you fall on somebody.
You paralyze everyone that you touch.
Yeah.
And then you start biting.
So if you this falling on people, has got me fucked up a little bit. Not because it doesn't make sense, but just because
it's so effective and dangerous.
If this is a 500-pound thing, how is a level 1 character going to get out from underneath it without assistance?
You're probably not.
Right. Yeah. So are they going to suffocate under there? Or are they just restrained?
If you put this thing against your level 1 party, and let's just presume they have 5 of them, it's a boss fight for sure.
Yeah,
and the dude who got
totally.
landed on is
the
in
damage
big trouble.
on this, it's going to take 3 hits to down a guy. Yeah, successful hits.
I think the dude who gets landed on is already unconscious.
Yes, absolutely.
What do you have, 13 HP at level 1?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so if it drops 30 feet,
that.
that's 3d6. Chances are you're
right.
out.
So the first guy's down, so now you have 4...
You have 4 people trying to figure stuff out, and it's probably going to crawl off that person as you draw it forward, and then you got to get the heal around the unconscious dude ASAP.
So this thing falls. Initiative or right after that? Okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a scary monster for even a level 2 party is going to really struggle with one of these.
Yeah.
So in that scenario, especially,
it's a cool little mob for, you might come across a pack of 6 of these at a high level, in like a battlefield.
Yeah. And they're 10 feet long, man. Like even if they're not super threatening to a high level party, there's a lot and they're big and they're paralyzing people.
Exactly.
That's scary.
Yeah, exactly. The paralysis is a big game changer.
I would say this is too difficult for a level 1 party.
I think so. Yeah. Unless you're doing like a really grim, dark, harsh environment.
You
got
a
nice
somebody.
big party like of 6 people. Then that's a little different.
You're gonna have to go back to the temple and get a new healer, dog.
I think 6 level.
I crushed that guy.
I think 6 level 1s could take on a single Carrion Crawler.
Yeah,
because if you got a couple like wizards in the back, like a ranger, some wizards, a couple fighters up on it, like I think you could last long enough. A few people will get knocked unconscious, but you should be able to take it.
Yeah, I think those hardier classes will do okay.
A couple crits, It's only got 50 HP.
No, I think it's definitely doable.
It's gonna be tough.
It's definitely gonna be.
But I like that. That's
a challenging fight for level 1.
Indeed.
Less challenging for level 2, but still probably pretty challenging. The HP pool is what's probably gonna get you through it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
With that being said, I think we can get ready for long rest.
Yeah, we should.
Let's do it.
Hey everybody, welcome to the long rest. We're back to building our beholder.
Indeed.
What was last episode?
Oh God, it's so long ago.
I know.
Was it Suni? Was it Suni?
No,
it was the Warlock episode.
Okay, Warlock.
And we gave it skin as white as snow. And what was its beam again?
I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling up the list.
Okay. Because it would have been based off the genie, right? So what was the genie beam you gave it?
I gave it a tornado for my Wind Genasi.
Oh, yeah. So it's got a tornado
Somebody
beam.
in Discord suggested, or was it Discord? A comment came through somewhere. We have so many threads for that now, but they were like, "Oh, it should have put somebody in a lamp."
A lamp beam?
Yeah, that would have been cool. I
like the wind beam.
I gave merit to that idea, but also I don't want to we're
not retconning.
Nah.
And also, I like tornado beam.
I like tornado beam too. Push beam. It's like kind of mild in terms of beams.
Yeah, but there's also a beauty beam that we gave it, so it beautifies.
I think we should errata the kind of beautification it does.
Why?
I think beauty should be in the eye of the beholder. So it's whatever
the beholder
thinks is beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Because we remember that episode. We were kind of trying to figure out what is beauty.
Well, I thought did we settle on it like whoever it hits, whatever their ideal beauty is?
Yes.
But you want to do it in the eye of the beholder.
I think beauty should be in the eye of the beholder.
Stupid, but yes. Okay.
Yeah. Or whatever beholders think are beautiful.
Yeah. Sure. Exactly.
Yeah. I think.
But what about today's beam?
Beekeepers. People keep saying beholders, like they're beekeepers.
Why?
The official, like a person that tends to bees.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but why are they beekeepers?
That's like their official title, isn't it? They're beekeepers, not beholders. Like the pun is a little loose on that one.
I'm so confused.
It's okay.
Okay.
So we got
today's ray and today's physical feature. I think we decided, right?
Yes. Well, let's recap. We got a roar beam in main. We got a petrification beam in gullet. We got a math beam, which is just a confusion spell, and turtle beak. We've got a love beam and long eyelashes. And the hovercraft thing happened. And then the tornado beam and snow white skin.
Yes.
This is great.
Yeah.
Okay, so today, Carrion Crawler.
Yes.
You kind of recapped what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
You go ahead and hit him with the beam, and I'll hit him with the feature.
Okay. So, brain juice beam.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's a paralysis ray, but it's instead of green, nasty juice that coats all over you.
Yep.
So it just squirts right out of its eye.
It's just a bit from right before the short rest. Here again.
Yes, it's here. It's true.
And okay, we're gonna give it a compound eye. Now the art in the monster manual, we looked at it, and it's kind of like a glossy thing going on. But we're gonna give it. Will was showing me like the eye of an ant.
Yeah, the actual insect compound
fly,
eye, like a really round, segmented eye.
A
thing
gridded,
going on.
like hexagonal sort of.
It was right in the center with them nice eyelashes rolling right off of it.
What's that phobia where people are scared of like
sponges?
sponges?
Is it tropophobia?
Is that what it's called?
Something like that. It starts with a T, but I know what you're talking about. And I don't have it as a phobia, but it's fucking disgusting looking.
It depends on what it is, because some people, they're more afraid of it on like, there's like a skin condition. Tropophobia is the fear of moving or making changes. So no, not that. But something, there's a phobia, and it has to do with like circles or like honeycombs can be like a trigger for it.
Yeah,
this will trigger
any
that
type
for
of
you.
holes in a surface.
Right, exactly.
That shouldn't be there.
Or even should.
Fear of holes in a surface. I'm Googling it right now.
The feature has nothing to do with this phobia, by the way.
Trypophobia.
Trypophobia.
Yeah.
You had a lot of the same letters there.
Yeah, I did. I really did.
So we're going to give it that kind of eye. Now,
The eye that strikes fear into the hearts of people with trypophobia.
it doesn't do anything except unless you have trypophobia.
Well, it sees really good in the dark.
It sees really good in the dark.
Yeah.
And also, we're going to give it the like tentacle feelers above the eye.
Yeah, I'm into that.
So just like the Carrion Crawler, they have like a really sharp angle in them. So they come out forward and then dip back, and they're really long.
Like, this thing is fucking horrifying.
I like-
This beholder is nasty.
I like these things sitting like in between the eye stalk beams, and as the eye stalk beams kind of move around to do stuff,
It
they're
moves
getting
with them,
getting
too.
moved.
Yeah, I like that.
There's a lot of pointless aesthetic on this.
Yes,
on this
there
thing.
really is. Okay, let's tell people where they can find all their stuff and call it a game.
We got Twitter, we got Instagram.
I think that contest is still going on, actually.
Oh yeah, we don't really like
when is
manage.
this airing?
We only semi-manage that now.
Yeah.
This
you got
episode
the
airs
air?
on February 22nd.
Okay. So we still have a few episodes. So yeah, guys, we're giving away 2 copies of the Candlekeep Mysteries. On Twitter, if you want to enter the contest, all you gotta do is share an episode of the show with the hashtag Dungeoncast. Our assistant will catch you on there and add you to the list. And then the rules for the Instagram contest are the same rules as they've been before.
Yeah,
So
pretty much.
I don't know
You
if
just
we wanna go
tag
over
a
that.
person in the comments below. You have to. Okay, so the rules are: follow the account, like the post, and then comment with tagging a person. Tag one of your friends, somebody you think that would be interested in the show.
Yeah.
You can tag. It should be like this: tag it as many times. Tag different people as many times as you want, and they all count as different entries.
Right.
We do these contests because we want to spread the word about the Dungeoncast. So
Plus, it's cool to give books away. That's nice too.
we like giving back.
Yeah.
And we want to give back to people that tell people about the Dungeoncast specifically.
Absolutely.
We also want to give back to our patrons, who I will say thank you for being patient. These episodes normally drop early on Sunday.
Yeah, we had a delay.
Yeah, we were busy.
Yeah, it was Valentine's.
It was Valentine's Day. And I was busy in a way you probably wouldn't think. So don't worry about it. They're here. They'll be here. It's Tuesday. They'll be here tonight. It won't happen again, maybe.
But we're giving away the 2 books on March 16th. So you still have some time to enter, but get in there. You can enter as many times as you want. So don't let a day go by without an entry.
Day go by. Anyway, go to Patreon if you want to support us beyond that. And you can get early ad-free episodes at the $5 level. That's like the earliest bonus content tier we have. Plus, there's a ton of other live game stuff in there. We got the Dungeon Chats, which is a shoot the shit podcast me and Will do. We drop it as often as we can. And then, there's beyond that. Just check it out. If you're already going to plan to go to the Patreon, you want to support us further beyond, there's tons of good stuff on the Patreon, including like if you want to read along episode notes, like we do here on the show. You could check those out. Other than that, I don't really have much except for thanks for listening.
Indeed.
Got to start telling people I love them again on the regular. So it's going to go here. We're going to slot it right at the back. It used to be a short rest thing. And now it's a end of the episode. Good night, I love you sort of thing. Yeah, good night, I love you. Sweet dreams. Mwah.
All right, guys, we're going to call it again. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye.
The Dungeoncast.